Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Destiny, and in today's video we're going to be discussing how to begin your vegetable garden. I did just begin my gardening journey, so there's a lot of things that I've learned along the way that I wanted to share and hope to inspire you to create your own vegetable garden. So the first tip that I wanted to share is to plan your space. So where are you going to be growing your vegetables? So is it going to be in ground? Are you going to do a raised bed? Or do you live in an apartment and you're going to be doing it on your balcony? So these are things that you want to make sure that you have together for when you're planning your vegetable garden. So again, you can do it in ground. That just may mean you need to learn your soil. So you may want to do a soil test. You can do a raised bed, but what are you going to build your raised bed out of? Two of the most common pieces of wood to grow your raised bed out of is cedar and redwood. Are you going to be using containers? If you're using containers, you want to make sure that they're deep enough. So I would suggest your containers to be at least 12 inches deep, because vegetables and fruits are a shallow growing plant unless you're going to be growing trees. Another thing that you want to do is learn your first frost and your last frost date. That pretty much sums up your growing season. So my last frost is, it says it's mid-February, and then our first frost is, I want to say maybe December, January. It does not get that cold in Northeast Florida. It doesn't. We barely get frost. If we do, again, it's in maybe January, February time. So that pretty much determines what my length of my growing season is. And like I said before, our winters are not that much a deal where I have to, fret about it. So you just want to make sure that you're planting varieties that work in your area. So just use Google. You can go on Pinterest. You can go on YouTube to just research, like, put in your zone and say what variety of potatoes grow best here, what variety of cucumbers grow best here, and that will help you have successful harvests. So one of the things that you want to know is, where's your growing zone at? So again, I'm in zone 9A. That means my climate is very hot and it's very humid, especially in the summer times. In the summer times, it gets 90, but it can feel like triple digits, and a lot of plants can't take that much heat. So if you're planting in the summertime, make sure that you're getting heat-loving plants. Step is your soil, your irrigation, and your sunlight. So for soil, most vegetables like well-draining soil. So they want something that's light and that's fluffy, that their roots can expand. They're not going to get compacted by rocks or mounds. Also irrigation. So irrigation meaning, how are your plants going to be watered? Are you going to be hand watering? Are you going to have a drip irrigation system, or is it going to be overhead watering? Now, one of the things that I learned is watering is very important. That's one of the things that I did not have set up. I did not have drip irrigation set up, which I should have. So drip irrigation means that you either have a PVC pipe, or you're running drip tape, or you're running drip piping. So that's something that's going to feed will water your plants. And I will insert some clips and some pictures of what I'm discussing right now, probably right here. So with that, drip irrigation means that it's little drops that's going into your plants. You can run them, I would suggest to run it in the mornings or in the late afternoons, because you don't want to do it in the middle of the heat, because one, the water can be evaporated. Two, you can burn your roots like that. And three, some plants do not like to be overhead watered. For example, tomatoes right here. Tomatoes do not like water touching their leaves at all. So that's why I do recommend a drip irrigation system. And you can find kits on Amazon. You can find them at Home Depot. And you can also do it yourself. So again, I will be showing you how to make your own drip irrigation system in some future videos, as I do work to move my garden to a new location. Also, sunlight. Most vegetables and most fruit like full sun. So that's meaning like 6 to 8 hours of sun a day. You can make sure that if you're in like warmer climates, like if you're in zone 8 through 12, to go ahead and make sure that some of your plants are going to be protected by afternoon shade. And we will get further into that. But for the most part, make sure that you're wherever you're planting your plants, they're getting full sun. Talk about is pests and diseases. So pests and diseases are something that's inevitable. It's going to happen because you're working outside, so you're at the mercy of Mother Nature. If Mother Nature wants to take over, then she just wants to take over. There are some steps that you can do to try to prevent and have a good harvest yield. So two of the things that I've been using is one, neem oil, and then I've also been researching BT. So neem oil and BT does kill certain things. Like neem oil is harmful for bees, and you really want to use something that's not harmful for bees, because you need bees to help pollinate your flowers on your vegetables, because that's what's going to make your fruit grow. So you can self-pollinate yourself. You can take a little toothbrush and pollinate the male flower and the female flower, and then you can do that. And I will have further videos on this, because I know, again, there's some of you who do not know what I'm talking about. However, don't worry, I got you. We're going to go through all this together, okay? So another thing is spacing. How are you going to space out your garden? You have your plants, you're ready to plant them, but what am I going to plant next to each other to make sure that I have a successful harvest? So one of the things that you can research is companion planting, which I will pop some information in here too. So basically, companion planting is I'm planting friends, right? I'm planting friends of plants that like each other. For example, you can plant cucumbers and tomatoes next to each other, because those are plants that like each other. Onions are one of the plants that do not like a lot of things around it. So you just want to make sure that you're researching that before you start plopping everything into it. You want to make sure that you're planting plants that are not, one does not use a lot of water, where you have one that sucks up the water. So you have plants that's competing for that moisture. So just make sure that you're researching that as well. And then with spacing, you want to make sure that you're spacing your plants so that they're getting enough air flow through them. So one of the examples that I've been doing is square root gardening. So there's all types of things that you can do, but I find that square root gardening basically tells you what to do itself. And there are different things that you can go on. Like I've used gardeners.com, and on gardeners.com they have a kitchen gardening planning tool. So basically you just tell it what you want to grow. Like, say for instance, I want to grow carrots and I want to grow cucumbers. So again, with square root gardening, you have a square of that's 12 foot. So within that 12 foot, I can grow 16 carrots, and I can grow 2 cucumbers, because that's the spacing that allows it to grow for it to have enough airflow through it. So right now I have 4x8 raised garden beds, and I did have I had it packed to the brim with it. But a lot of my stuff was not successful because I didn't research beforehand, and I was just excited to, go on this new adventure. So some of the things that I will tell you I planted is I planted cucumbers, I planted broccoli, I planted okra. And one of the things that, while you have to research, broccoli is a cool weather plant. So me trying to grow it in the dead heat of the summer, like, I knew it was going to be a fail. I just wanted to see if I could grow it, and it did grow, but it went to seed. So when plants go to seed, that means basically they're saying, like, I'm not going to give you fruit, I'm just going to give you some seeds, try again next time. So you can let your plants go to seed if you do want to collect that seed. But if you want your plants to, give you some fruit or give you some vegetables, go ahead and research so that you're making sure you're not setting yourself up for failure. So I'm going to insert some of the things that I did grow in my first raised garden beds. I will say that I built 2 raised garden beds, and I started one earlier than the other. My second one is more successful because this one was more planned out. I knew what pests to look for. I knew how to space my plants. I knew what was going to grow. Like I have been talking about, I knew what I was going to grow in the dead heat of Florida. So right now I have peaches and cream corn growing, and I have peppers. I have watermelon and cantaloupe in one raised garden bed, and everything is doing very well. My first raised garden bed, like I said, I had a lot of stuff in it. So I had squash, I had cucumber, I had tomatoes, I had a bunch of tomatoes. And like I said, it's just too hot for my tomato plants right now. These are some of the ones that I could get off of the plants. But again, I just popped these off because they're struggling, and I just need to go ahead and pull them off and just start again like in August, September. And I should be able to have a lot more fruit production. I did lose my cucumbers. I was able to have one cucumber off of my plants, and then it got destroyed by bugs. Same thing with my zucchini. My zucchini was starting to have one baby zucchini, and it just got shredded by bugs. One of the things, I could have replanted everything, but I decided not to because I'm going to be moving my garden anyway. I will be relocating, so I'll be bringing y'all on that journey as well. I'm also going to have apartment videos for you, so if you stay in an apartment but you want a garden, don't worry, those videos will be on the way. This is a new channel, so I'm growing with y'all, so I hope you stay tuned for the journey because I do have some exciting things planned for you all. Again, thank you for watching my video, and do not forget to like and subscribe and share the video. Thank you.